Yes, indeed. B Marsh Boxing back at it was goody boxing heads and fight fans around the world. B Marsh Boxing back at it with another boxing video. So man, it came out yesterday that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is official. December 1st, Staples Center, Los Angeles. Pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder's first pay-per-view, you know. I'm proud of the guy. Hopefully the undercard be popping, man, because I want to support that pay-per-view, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, they say Deontay Wilder ain't known. Well, you know, my guy's going to be headlining a pay-per-view, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully they stack that undercard, man. Hopefully they put on Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell Jr., unification at featherweight, WBC and WBA titles. And, you know, hopefully they put on something else, but, you know, I'm hearing they still trying to make that Javante Davis versus Abner Mares, you know what I mean? So, you know, if they put those fighters on the card, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's going to boost the profile of the card, you know what I mean? Put some names on there, you know what I mean? You know, PBC and Showtime, you know what I mean? They got a lot of dates, got a lot of fighters. Got to throw these guys in the mix, you know what I mean? Try to make them more relevant, make more households get to know these guys, you know what I mean? But what concerns me is what's really good with this I'm sorry, Adonis Stevenson versus Alexander Grovsdick. You know, Alexander Grovsdick is the WBC interim light heavyweight champ. You know what I mean? What's gonna happen with that part? You know what I'm saying? Because they had the date for December 1st. They said December 1st in Quebec. Stevenson will be defending his title for I think the 10th time. For the 10th time, you know what I'm saying? His WBC and lineal title. So what's gonna happen with that card? You know what I mean? They gonna scrap that or what? Me personally, I like both fights. You know what I'm saying? I like both fights. You know, I was really looking forward to Stevenson versus Grovsdick. You know what I mean? Stevenson now at an advanced age in his career. And they got young, hungry lions like Badu Jack and Grovsdick down his neck, man. They try and get a piece of that title. You know what I mean? Let's see who's in the chat. Mike D, what's good? Mike D says, yo, where you been? Where you been, bro? Man, I've been trying to get this paper, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this paper, you know. Only thing I could really talk about this week, maybe it was some Joshua and Povetkin thing, you know what I mean? But I leave that for everybody else, you know what I mean? I watch the fight. But yeah, man, been on my gorilla grind. You check it. Mike D says it looks like a stack card, which is good for boxing. If they make that happen and put that unification, you know what I mean? They gotta go take it back to the Don King days, you know what I'm saying? Where we would have fellas like Mike Tyson headlining, and you have Azuma Nelson and Julio Cesar Chavez on the undercards defending their titles. You know what I mean? You know, you might even have Felix Trinidad on the undercards. You know what I'm saying? You know, they gotta take it back to those days where, you know, it's a stacked undercard, world title fights. You know what I mean? Not what we just seen this last weekend on the Golden Boy pay-per-view, where the undercards, yeah, it was nice knockouts, sure, but a fight like that fight, what's his name had, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez versus the guy he fought. That's the kind of fight they could put on HBO after dark. You know what I mean? Then you had Lemieux versus Spike O'Sullivan. Now that was supposed to be on paper somewhat competitive, but it ended early with a first round knockout. You know what I'm saying? No world title on the line. And then you had the world titleist Jaime Munguia versus the Canadian Brandon Cook, and you seen what happened. He dispatched him in three. It wasn't competitive. You check it. Now, you know, for the casuals who like knockouts, they got to see knockouts, but for those of us who like to see competitive fights, you know, that's not what Golden Boy brought. But if this Deontay Wilder undercard has Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell Jr., man, that's a live undercard right there. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna have Abner Mares versus Tank Davis, a fight that I'm not in favor of, but still, Tank has a following. Abner Maris has a following. It's gonna be in Los Angeles, where Abner Maris is from. You know what I mean? And Leo Santa Cruz is also from Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? So that's just gonna make that pay-per-view even more lava. You know what I mean? Dan the Man Boxing, what's happening, man? Dan the Man's in the chat. He says Staples Center is close to my home. I'm definitely there. No question, Dan. Yeah, man, go support that joint, man. Shit. If Wilder and Fury, they were doing it at the MGM over here at Oxon Hill, Maryland, I'd be in there like swimwear. You know what I mean? Straight up. Mike D says you lucky rascal. Yeah, man. Definitely go support Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? His first pay-per-view. And this was in the making. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder is the top most viewed fight on Showtime since 2015, since his first fight with Bermane Stiverne. You know what I mean? He surpassed guys like Broner, who was always pulling in a million, but Broner's been declining. You know what I'm saying? Even his that fight with Mikey Garcia, I'm not too sure if that one even reached 1 million views. You know what I mean? Or at its peak. You check it. So Wilder's been doing that consistently, 1 million straight up. So now it's time to put it to the test, man. Showtime, try to make some pay-per-views happen. MB says Thurman and Josecito Lopez. Yeah, of course they throw Riverside Rocky in there with Thurman. You know what I mean? Riverside Rocky fights anybody, anywhere, any place. You know what I mean? He even fought Cannoli. You know what I'm saying? He broke Victor Ortiz's jaw. Do I like the fight? Hey, if they put it on the undercard, why not? Put it on the undercard, man. Make Keith Thurman, man. Let the fans know. See him again. You know what I mean? I don't think he should be. He should probably be the first fight, or probably the second fight. Because if the main event is Tyson Fury versus Wilder, the undercard should be Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell. Then you could probably put Thurman, or maybe Tank. I don't know. Any which way, because those fights with Tank Davis and Keith Thurman, they're not as relevant as Santa Cruz and Gary Russell unification and the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, like I said, man, what's going to happen with the guys up in Canada, man? Alexander Gravsdick versus Adonis Stevenson, man, Adonis Stevenson, man, he barely fights twice a year. You know what I mean? He's been fighting once a year for like the last 4 years. Now he fought earlier this year when he fought Badou Jack, and he said that he would like to fight twice in a year. I'd like to see him get that fight in December 1st, you know what I mean? You check it, but, he's going to have to take a back seat to Wilder and Fury, if you know what I mean? Because I'm sure they're not, I don't know, I don't think they would do, what do you call it? Like a 2-venue event, like how they did with Badou Jack versus Stevenson and Gary Russell versus what's that guy's name? Jojo Diaz, a fight that I was live at the MGM. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do that on the pay-per-view night. You know what I mean? That's just gonna cause, I don't know. Or maybe if they start the card early, like an 8 o'clock card, put that Adonis Stevenson. I don't know. Put Adonis Stevenson versus Gravsdick at 8 o'clock on regular Showtime in Canada, and then, just for like an appetizer, and then at 9 o'clock the pay-per-view starts on Showtime, because it's gonna be a West Coast joint. You know what I mean? West Coast, they 3 hours behind where I'm at, Eastern Standard Time. You know what I mean? That last pay-per-view last weekend started at 8 o'clock Eastern. So that's about like 5 o'clock Pacific. You know what I mean? So if they start at 9 o'clock, that's a decent time. You know what I mean? That's actually when Showtime actually even airs their events. They start at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? So, and HBO usually start at 10 o'clock or 10:30, because every Saturday HBO premieres a new movie at 8 o'clock every Saturday, like clockwork. They've been doing this since I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? So 8 o'clock on HBO, they premiere their new movie. You know what I mean? Like if Black Panther never been on TV yet, and they put it out, it's gonna be on HBO at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. So I'm not too sure what they're gonna do with Adonis Stevenson, man. But I'm kind of conflicted. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the Tyson Fury, you know what I'm saying, versus Wilder. But I do want to see Stevenson up in the ring, man. Activity, man. That 12th round versus Badou Jack wasn't looking good, man. Adonis Stevenson was about to get taken up out of there, you know what I mean? You check it, so he needs to be back more active, you know what I mean? He needs to be in the ring twice a year. Put that WBC title on the line twice a year. Be an active champion, you know what I mean? With your 10 title defenses, you know what I'm saying? And so you could be more accustomed to different styles, just in case these unifications come so happen. You know what I mean? If Yvonne Michelle makes these unifications happen with Better Beef and Alidia Alvarez, even though Alidia Alvarez is confirmed he will be on ESPN Plus, I'm sure sometime in probably January or February in the rematch versus Kovalev. HBO said, forget about it. We're not picking up that fight, man. This guy, every time we put him on, he's lost what? 3 of his last fights, man. They're not feeling Kovalev right about now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you look good versus Shabaransky. Shabaransky rocked him with a jab, stumbled and wobbled him. You know what I mean? So HBO's about tired of that fake killer shit that Kovalev and them be trying to sell. So then he gonna be on ESPN, which is a good fight regardless. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. I like the fight. I like the fight the first time. You know what I mean? So I can dig it. Mike D's in the chat. He says, "Who you got winning, Fury or Wilder?" I got Deontay Wilder winning, but I think it's gonna be a difficult fight. Wilder ain't never fought nobody 6'9". You know what I mean? And Wilder, we seen him kind of struggle with the guy who got some height and reach with a jab like George Washington. Sorry, Gerald Washington. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? It's gonna be difficult for Wilder. Just like today with this Povetkin versus Anthony Joshua. I got Joshua winning, but I think he's gonna struggle a little bit. You know what I mean? Joshua has difficulty with these shorter fighters. You know what I mean? And this guy's a vicious hooker. This Povetkin guy. You know what I mean? Bob and Weave style. You know what I mean? Not quite like Mike Tyson, but he throws kind of left hooks that the opponent doesn't see. But Anthony Joshua can time it well if he's been watching tape, and he'll land that uppercut. And I think that's how eventually he'll probably knock him out with an uppercut, probably in the 8th to the 9th to the 10th round. That's how I see it. I didn't make a prediction about it, but that's how I see it happening. Gaines PP, what's up, Gaines PP? He says, will it come on regular Showtime before Wilder versus Fury? That I do not know, Gaines PP. I'm not too sure. I'm not even sure if the fight is even going to happen on December 1st. You know what I mean? But then again, we seen the last time Stevenson fought, they did a two fight venue. You know what I mean? A 2 fight broadcast. They showcased Stevenson. I'm sorry, Gary Russell versus Jojo Diaz first on Showtime live from the MGM National Harbor at Oxon Hill, Maryland. Then the fight ended. Then they went straight to Canada, to Toronto for Badou Jack versus Stevenson. You know what I mean? So maybe Stevenson gets pay-per-view money too, man. Don't get it twisted, dogs. Hey, man, if Stevenson fighting Grovsdick over there in Canada, he's getting pay-per-view guap. You know what I mean? So it's a possibility they just might do that. We shall find out. You know what I mean? As these dates come closer. Mike D says it's something about the heavier guys. They seem to be able to fight longer in their career. So see if Stevenson could get the W. Yeah, man. You know, guys like Tarver was at an older, advanced stage at the light heavyweight. We seen Bernard Hopkins. You know what I mean? He was also an advanced over 40 age at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? It's all about how you preserve yourself. And Stevenson is in shape. You know what I mean? But again, he's 40 years old and he's not that active. You know what I'm saying? There was points in times when B Hop was also fighting once a year. But then again, B Hop is also a guy who's a health freak. You know what I mean? He's a guy who don't drink no sodas or he don't he lives a clean lifestyle. You know what I mean? So them fellas was built for that. Stevenson, I'm not saying Stevenson smokes or drinks. I don't know about that. I know he stays in shape and trains year round. You know what I mean? But you can't duplicate what you do in the gym and training, doing road work, when you get in the ring with a hungry motherfucker throwing punches back at you. You know what I mean? And that's where Stevenson got to get back in the mix, you know what I'm saying? Because it's young, hungry competitors at light heavyweight, man, who coming for the crown, you know what I mean? Fellas want to knock Stevenson off. They got ample time and opportunity to do it, but we shall see, you know what I mean, if they built for that, you know what I mean? If they can get past Stevenson's long reach. Okay, Games PP say AJ can't get rocked early in the fight. Yeah, he's gonna have to box behind his jab. He's gonna have to, he's gonna have to do what fellas like Vladimir Klitschko did. And if you notice, that's kind of Anthony Joshua's role model as far as his style and technique these days. You know what I mean? It's to tackle him in the Joseph Parker fights. He's been fighting like, especially the Parker fight, been fighting like Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I mean? It's a snoozer. You know, you know, if you're having trouble sleeping, go ahead and put that Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker fight on. You know what I mean? You check it, and I hope Anthony Joshua gets back to his knockout ways and not no um, bad stoppages like that Takum fight. Real stoppages, knocking fellas out. You know what I mean? Mike D says AJ better not hook with the hooker. He better remember the way the white fight. Facts. Can't be hooking with that guy. You gotta go watch Lennox Lewis fights, man. Gotta fight behind that jab. Gotta pump that right hand. Keep your distance. Keep your range. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta stay, you know, keep this guy at the end of your jab. Mike D says, I want Wilder to versus Fury to be similar to Ali versus Frazier 3. This leads to the money fight, make or break for both. Man, if they fight like if they fight like Ali versus Frazier 3, man, they might get knocked out in their next fight, man. Ali versus Frazier 3 was a bloodbath, man. That fight was war. That fight took years off these guys' careers, man. And I'm not saying they shouldn't fight like that. That'd be great entertainment. But if they fight like that, then Tyson Fury gonna get knocked the fuck out, man. He can't stand in the pocket and trade with Wilder. You know what I'm saying? He don't got the punching power to trade, and you know he's gonna have to use his tactics, man. He's gonna have to outsmart and outthink the man. You know what I mean? Well, that's one thing between the three fighters: Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and what's his name? Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury knows more of his boxing history than those other two. Fury, I'm sorry, AJ and Wilder. You know what I mean? He knows boxing techniques. You know what I mean? He knows history and he knows what it takes to defy the odds. You know what I mean? He always goes back to he talks about that what's his name? Larry Holmes versus Michael Spinks. You know what I'm saying? The smaller guy coming up in weight and the boxing technique. You know what I mean? That's the guy that Tyson Fury, you know, really admires as far as boxing technique is Michael Spinks. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Tyson Fury, man, it's gonna be a difficult fight. So I don't think the guy's gonna be trading with the man, fighting all caveman style. Nah. He ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? He fought a punch in Tyson in Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko barely touched him, you know what I mean? And he's a big target, you know what I'm saying? So if they fight like Ali versus Frazier 3, it's gonna end in round one. What's his name? Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder by KO, round one. The best bet for Fury to beat Wilder is he got to go back to what he did versus Klitschko, and you know, he's gonna have to, you know, the feints, the upper body movement, the herky jerky shit, using his jab, just frustrating the man, switching stances, southpaw. While they never faced a guy who switches, who's a switch hitter. Tyson Fury is, you know what I mean? Games PP says I think Stevenson will win by fifth round KO. Yeah, I expect him to knock him out. You know what I mean? Grovsdick is he showed some flaws. You know what I mean? He struggled with some guys who I thought he should have taken up out of there. You know, the guy got dropped by Tommy Carpenter. Tommy Carpenter ain't no puncher. You know what I mean? Where Tommy Carpenter at these days? Mike D said, "Hi, he laughing." Games PP says Grovsdick chin won't hold up unless he weathers the storm early in the fight. Yeah, and can he outbox Stevenson for 12 rounds though? That's the thing. Badou Jack couldn't even do it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be tough. I got Badou Jack being a guy like Grovsdick, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. I'm looking forward to these undercards today, man. This Mendy versus what's that guy's name? Luke Campbell. Mendy, the guy from France who did beat Luke Campbell. A guy who has 4 losses on his record, never been stopped, you know what I mean? I think he can duplicate that, but the guy Luke Campbell has improved since that fight, you know what I mean? He had a very good showcase against Jorge Linares, made it a close fight coming off the deck and still having it close on the scorecard. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm kind of conflicted who I think gonna win that fight. I actually have no clue, you know what I mean? I actually have no clue who gonna win that fight, but I'm looking forward to that fight a whole lot. I'm looking forward to Steven, what's his name? David Price versus the Kuzman guy. You know what I mean? Kuzman's not really a puncher. David Price is. But we've seen lesser opponents knock out David Price. Must see TV, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this guy who a guy who stopped Joe Joyce in the amateurs. He didn't knock him out on his, but put him on his ass, but stopped him on his feet, you know what I mean? So, it's gonna be a good undercard. I think it starts at 1 o'clock. Matter of fact, what time is it over here? It's 12:40. It starts in 20 minutes Eastern time. It's 12:40 Eastern time over here in the nation's cap. You know what I mean? So we gotta say that this Grobsdick versus Stevenson fight, it will not interfere by no shape, form, or fashion with Tyson Fury versus Wilder's pay-per-view. You know what I mean? There was a lot of skeptics out there who also thought that the fight was not going to happen, and they were doubting whether Tyson Fury and all guys who they hear what Eddie Hearn says and they come out and make videos regurgitating what Eddie Hearn says. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, how many times have we seen or heard about fights being announced or so and so's about to fight each other, but we ain't know the date or the venue, but we ain't question if the fight's gonna happen. We'll only question if the fight's gonna happen if the fight gets canceled or there's rumors that there's gonna be there's some issues going on. A guy gets hurt in sparring or something. But the skeptics and doubters, they really have a problem with this Tyson Fury fight. I don't know why they have a problem with Wilder facing Tyson Fury when they don't have a problem with Anthony Joshua not fighting Wilder. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't want Wilder to, and like I said, man, Wilder don't got to worry about nobody giving him credit. For me, a person who is a fan of Deontay Wilder, and the naysayers, the people who are negative about Deontay Wilder, because at the end of the day, our names don't sign this check. You know what I mean? Our names ain't on this check that he gonna get on this for his purse. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He beats Tyson Fury, he gets his O. You know what I'm saying? The guy Tyson, what's his name? AJ fighting. He got a loss already to Vladimir Klitschko. Povetkin lost to Klitschko. And that's not taking nothing away from the fight, you know what I'm saying? It's a good fight, but if the Anthony Joshua fans don't like the Wilder fight, so be it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if he does so happen to beat him, it just means more leverage at the end of the day. I think that's what really got these people butthurt, and they don't want like the fact that if he beats Tyson Fury, then when it comes to negotiations, he could get a higher purse. You know what I'm saying? Look at fucking Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was talking about, if the fight don't happen between Wilder and Fury, you know what I'm saying, then they would like to fight Fury in April. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want the guy Deontay Wilder to fight Fury, but if the fight don't happen, you fight him in April. Come on, man. Like, fellas is out of their mind, dogs. Like, who would they want Deontay Wilder to fight? They want him to fight Dillian White. I like that fight too. You know what I'm saying? But does Dillian White bring Deontay Wilder the payday like Tyson Fury does? Does Tyson Fury have a loss on his record? Come on, man. It's math. It's business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? More people are interested Hardcores might be interested in Wilder versus Dillian White, but at the end of the day, what sells will be Tyson Fury versus Wilder. You know what I mean? You check it, and Eddie Hearn, like I said, man, you don't have to like the fight. At the end of the day, if Wilder gets through the guy Tyson Fury, you just got Wilder just gonna, he's gonna have more leverage come negotiation time at the negotiation board. You know what I mean? And what's his name? Tyson, Eddie Hearn, and then they're gonna have to come off that flat fee of 15 million. You know what I'm saying? And gotta, up the ante. You know what I mean? Mike D says, I'll usually make my prediction close to the fight because I can see inside the camp and how the fighter look. But I got good insight. Blessed by TMH. I feeling an upset. Could be an upset, man. Anything can happen. It's boxing, you know what I mean? It's not like Deontay Wilder's fighting a bomb. He's fighting the guy who opened up the floodgates to revive the heavyweight division. He's the guy who beat Tyson, who beat Klitschko. Now I know Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua fan, they don't like to hear that, man. But it's the fact. It's the truth. He actually beat him easier than Anthony Joshua did. Anthony Joshua versus Vlad was more exciting, sure. But Tyson Fury beat him more easier. And at the end of the day, it's all about the results, you know what I mean? It's all about the result at the end of the day, and he got the W. And like I said, he opened up the floodgates for the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? And there's more interest in the heavyweight division, you know what I mean? And I'm saying all those belts that Anthony Joshua has used to be Tyson Fury's. And I'm not saying Anthony Joshua did not earn them belts. You know, he beat he beat the Charles Martin guy. He beat Vlad. They put the WBA title on the line. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess they did that because, Tyson Fury didn't participate in the rematch. And Vlad was in line to fight for that title. But, I thought they should have probably actually had a guy like Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Luis Ortiz fight versus Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I mean? Because Luis Ortiz was a mandatory for Vladimir Klitschko, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. None of those three guys ever fought Luis Ortiz, an undefeated dude at the time, you know what I mean? But Deontay Wilder did, But there's people still who don't want to give Wilder credit for that. At the end of the day, that fight was more exciting than Anthony Joshua versus Parker. At the end of the day, he took the man Luis Ortiz, the boogeyman. That's what he was. That's what he was. At the end of the day, you can say what you want, have revisionist history, but he was the boogeyman and still is, in my opinion, one of the best heavyweights in the division. A guy who gave Wilder his biggest scare of his career. You know what I'm saying? You could say what you want at the end of the day. If you think that Deontay Wilder is some garbage because of a guy they say 40 plus years old and is on heart medication, you know what I'm saying, almost stopped Wilder in the seventh round, then that should be easy pickings for Anthony Joshua. A guy, Anthony Joshua, said he'll knock Deontay Wilder out in 3 rounds. There's actually tape of the man, Anthony Joshua, telling the man, somebody, that bring Wilder over, I'll fuck him up too. You're talking all that stuff, man, but when it comes down to fighting time, you guys nowhere to be found, you know what I'm saying? Like the new kids say these days, man, keep that same energy, you know what I mean? You check it. Mike D says, I want the winner to fight in April against AJ, no excuse. Yeah, that should actually be what it is. But I heard Eddie Hearn talking about Dillian White. The winner of Dillian White versus Chisora for April for AJ. You know what I'm saying? Mike D says, this is true. No question, man. Nothing but the truth over here, man. I don't got to lie for nobody. I don't even lie to no broads to get some poom poom. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You're going to get with it or not. Mike D says, AJ needs to fight Ortiz in the States. That would hype up the Wilder fight if his win in December. That'd actually be a good way to hype him up, yeah. Because that's the guy that a lot of people watched Wilder. When Wilder fought Ortiz, a lot of people paid attention to that. They watched that fight. Casuals came up to me the next Sunday or Monday, man. That fight that night with Ortiz, man, that fight was like that. Yeah. And then I tell him the record, yeah, Wilder's 41 and 0 with 40 KOs. They spaz out. They be like, dogs, that dude's the truth. I'm watching every fight of his. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, B Marsh Boxing about to seal the deal on this live stream. Thanks a lot for everybody coming through. Big ups to Mike D. Big ups to Games PP. Big ups to Dan the Man Boxing. Big ups to MB. Appreciate everybody who came through in the chat. You know what I mean? Thanks for participating. And we'll find out if Stevenson versus Gravesdick will still happen on the night that Deontay Wilder gets his first pay-per-view. Los Angeles, California, Staples Center, December 1st versus Tyson Fury. B Marsh Boxley, your thoughts and comments. I'm out of here. Everybody listening on the archives, hit that thumbs up. Leave your thoughts and comments. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Peace.